What if I told you the greatest Olympic show jumping legend was a rejected racehorse named Stillaspill? What if the gold medal wasn't won by a towering stallion, but by a little bay mare who no one believed in? This is not a fairy tale. This is the real, untamed, and unforgettable rise of Touch of Class, the mare who jumped into immortality. She was born to run, but too slow for the track, passed from hand to hand, misunderstood, unwanted. Then everything changed, with a rider who spoke her silent language and a team that had waited a lifetime for glory. She didn't just compete, she rewrote Olympic history. Stick around, because the deeper we go, the more unbelievable this gets. Let's rewind the clock. The year is 1973. In the quiet countryside of Maryland, a little bay thoroughbred filly is born. She's compact, sharp-eyed, barely 15.3 hands. Her name? Stillaspill. Not exactly the name you'd put in lights. Her breeder, Jennifer Rowland Small, a former jockey herself, had dreams. But nobody looked at this little mare and saw an Olympic hero. Not then. Not even close. Stillaspill was sent to the racetrack. It was her supposed destiny, speed, fame, maybe fortune. But over the course of 6 starts, she never even placed. 0 wins, 0 earnings, 0 expectations. To the racing world, she was just another failed project, just another number. So, she was sold. And the bouncing began. One trainer tried her as a hunter. Another thought she'd make a good junior ride. And while most horses would crumble from that kind of instability, this little mare, she never lost her heart. Instead of fading, she started to show signs of something else. She wasn't elegant, but she was brave. She wasn't flashy, but she was unshakably willing. One by one, people began to notice. And finally, she landed in the barn of Francis Rowe, and from there, made her way to Joe Fargis. Now stop right here, because this is the moment fate stopped whispering and started shouting. Joe Fargis wasn't flashy either. He was calm, precise, classical. A student of the legendary Bertalan de Nemeth, the Hungarian master who had taken US show jumping from a military sideline to an international force. Fargis didn't need drama. He needed connection. He needed feel. And with this little mare, who was now renamed Touch of Class, he found something rare. She wasn't easy. She wasn't obvious. But when she jumped, she was electric. 1982. The breakthrough came. Conrad Homfeld, Fargis's close friend and business partner, rode Touch of Class to her first major victory, the I Love New York Grand Prix. People started whispering, "Who is this mare?" Then came 1984, Los Angeles, the Summer Olympics, the first time the Games returned to US soil in over half a century, and the American show jumping team, hungry, battle-tested, but still without an Olympic team gold. They had come close. Silver in Munich, silver in Montreal, always the bridesmaids. But this year felt different. Touch of Class, now 11 years old, had sharpened her teeth on the Grand Prix circuit. She'd won in Florida, won in Cincinnati. She was no longer an underdog. She was a dark horse waiting to explode. Joe Fargis was selected to ride her. And just like that, the tiny mare once named Stillaspill was about to become America's secret weapon. The team competition, Tuesday, August 7th, 1984. The venue, Santa Anita Racetrack in California. The footing was tight. The crowd, rowdy. The course, brutal. Designed by none other than Bert de Nemeth himself. The master returning to shape the ultimate test for his students. Touch of Class and Joe Fargis were the lead-off pair, the tone-setters. And they delivered what nobody expected, a flawless, fault-free round. You could feel the shift in the air. America was no longer just hoping, they were believing. Leslie Burr and Albany followed, a rail down. Then Conrad Homfeld and Abdullah, 2 rails. The pressure was mounting. Melanie Smith and Calypso, clear. After round 1, the US sat in the lead. Round 2, Fargis and Touch of Class went in again and again, clear. 2 rounds, 0 faults. Homfeld came back with redemption, a perfect round on Abdullah. The gold was clinched before Melanie even had to jump. It was historic, the first ever Olympic team gold for the US in show jumping. And Touch of Class? She wasn't done yet. The individual final, Sunday, August 12th. This was the real test. 50 of the best horse and rider combinations in the world. 1 course, no room for error. Round 1, rails crashed, dreams shattered. Only 2 riders went clear. Joe Fargis on Touch of Class and 1 other. Behind them, Conrad Homfeld and Abdullah with just 4 faults. Melanie Smith also on 4th. Round 2, Smith faltered, 8 more faults. Homfeld, clear. Now it was up to Joe and that little bay mare. The world held its breath. Jump after jump, they soared. Until the final fence, a rail fell. 4 faults, tied with Homfeld. And suddenly, history was being rewritten again. The jump-off, 2 Americans, 1 gold. Conrad Homfeld went first, fast, clean lines, but a rail down, 4 faults. Fargis entered next. If he went clear, gold was his. Touch of Class's ears locked forward. She knew. They danced through the course. Tight turns, crisp takeoffs. Not a single hesitation. Over the final fence. Clean. She had done it. Double gold. A feat never before accomplished by an American horse. And perhaps never again. Touch of Class didn't just win medals. She broke myths. That a thoroughbred couldn't win at the highest level. That a mare couldn't be dominant. That size mattered more than heart. In 5 Olympic rounds, she knocked down 1 rail. Just 1. She was named Horse of the Year, inducted into the Show Jumping Hall of Fame, and forever enshrined in the heart of equestrian greatness. But for Joe Fargis, her brilliance wasn't just about results. She gave everything, every single time, he once said, and she did it with elegance. From the forgotten filly named Stillaspill to Touch of Class, the name the world would never forget. This isn't just a story about a horse. This is a story about belief, about finding greatness where no one else bothered to look, about the power of quiet determination, flawless timing, and one unforgettable leap into history. If this story inspired you, hit that like button and subscribe for more legends like Touch of Class, because sometimes the smallest horses leave the biggest legacy.